How we doing, guys? Hope you're well. Happy Saturday, another solid weekend, and it's just amazing to see all the positive results. For anyone that's not done their check-in yet, get that over to me as soon as possible, and we want to be tackling next week head on. So I thought I'd put this together. Thanks for those who put their wee answers in the poll, and this is going to be about how to recover and pick up, say for example, when things don't go to plan. So this is going to be a bit of a guide on your nutrition and movement and mindset for low mood, and a bit of a blueprint. So you can always refer back to this when things don't go to plan. So let's dive in. So here are some key strategies along with ways to reset when things don't go to plan. So some common things I do see is, mindset. It tends to shift left, right and centre sometimes when things throw us off. And there's certain ways we can, or certain strategies we can put in place to overcome low mood and motivation. So one of these things in terms of how to shift your mindset is reframe your own goals. So for example, instead of focusing on restrictions, what you can't do, implement positive habits. For example, I'm fueling my body here instead of I can't eat this. So think about what you're actually doing, and this is where the mindful eating module comes in the course. Mindful eating. So think about when you're eating a certain meal. Think about, okay, I'm eating this because it's actually going to help fuel my body. It's giving me the protein I need to grow. It's going to help me recover quicker. Instead of thinking I can't eat this, always think about what you're actually putting into your body. Start smaller there as well. So small consistent changes, like if you're struggling to get your steps in, it's okay to reduce your steps, okay? If you're really struggling with motivation, you need to let me know. I can then put together new strategies. But if there's a time delay, the last thing I want is for you just to not do any steps at all. So reduce your walk, or for example, if it's the nutrition side, you could do like one healthy snack swap. And this will help build momentum and keep you going and actually get you doing something rather than nothing. Hopefully that makes sense. And when things go off track, like a single setback doesn't outdo any progress. Just focus on the next positive step rather than dwelling on what's gone wrong. So what I'm meaning by that is like this self-sabotage behaviour. Say for example, you didn't hit your steps. This kind of message comes in your head, oh, I'm a failure or whatever. Don't be thinking about that. Just think, okay, I've done my steps there, then move on from that. Okay? Then so that's some mindset shifts, and focus on the wins here, and focus on what you're doing already, habit wise. It's all positive. And moving on to the next one, managing mood and motivation. So think about the connection between food, movement and mood, and the foods that you're putting into your body again. You want to be looking at your omega-3s, protein, complex carbs. So with the nutrition and the movement itself, even like light stretching, that's going to have a positive impact on your mood anyway. It's going to be boosting neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. And think about exercise as a mood booster rather than a weight loss tool. And if you are feeling low, your answer, believe it or not, even if sometimes you won't be, like you can't be bored with it, is to actually do exercise. So that is your answer to boost your mood. It's a weird thing, but if you really think about it, that is your answer. So if you're feeling demotivated to exercise and you're feeling low, you've got two options here. You either stay stuck in that phase, or you just dive into your workout and you're going to feel better after it. Then after that, it's a bit of a butterfly effect, because you've won, you've done your workout. 2, you're going to feel better after it. And 3, you're actually going to feel you've accomplished something. So think about that for a second. And remember, you're not always going to feel like, you're not always going to feel motivated to do your workouts. So it's about saying to yourself, I'm going to put myself through this workout if I'm unmotivated or not, or motivated or not, because I know it's going to be beneficial for me. And after that, I'm actually going to help change my own mood. It's going to benefit me. Think about it that way. So yeah, when your motivation drops, just you can even do something like a smaller workout. Maybe reduce the reps or the sets if you're really struggling with motivation. Now, if that even comes up, obviously say to me, but it's just as quick tips and quick wins to get you through it, to get you through that phase of low mood, instead of completely avoiding the workout altogether. So yeah, there are a couple of tips there. Like, something's better than nothing, okay? Reducing overwhelm. You know, when you're starting the program, I may be throwing quite a lot of things to you and it may become overwhelming. Focus on one thing at a time. If you're focusing one thing at a time, it's better than nothing again, you know? So apply this, or you could apply this or that thing there as well. For example, if you're really struggling with your nutrition, if you're even thinking about you're reaching for a chocolate bar, put them in front of you. Okay, I've got this meal and I've got a chocolate bar here. I'm tempted to eat the chocolate bar. Then again, this mindful eating coming in. Okay, if I eat this chocolate bar, how am I going to feel after it? Am I actually going to feel satisfied after it, or am I going to feel like crap? Or I've got this meal, you know, I might not actually be motivated to eat it at the start. Maybe change it up a little bit. Change the recipe slightly. Then think about, okay, if I eat this meal, I know it's going to benefit me. And it's also going to taste good. It's going to be giving me all the nutrients I need to improve my health. Okay? So that's what I want you to do as well. Just start thinking more about what you're putting into your body. Hopefully that makes sense. Flexible routines as well. Like, adaptability helps reduce this kind of guilt if you miss a workout or you eat something off plan. Like, track your calories. If you need more coaching in terms of how to track your calories, this then allows to give you more flexibility. If you really want to have a chocolate bar, as long as you're within your calories, that's still okay. You can still have the odd day like that. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend that every day. But if you learn how to track your calories, that's going to be beneficial in the long run, because that's going to help you sustain your progress. Okay, so just bear that in mind. And if you do have a chocolate bar, it's not the end of the world. You just move on. You know, move on. Again, referring back to the mindset shift. Same goes with a workout. I mean, like, if you can't do a 30-minute workout because you're really stuck for time and things is coming up in life, something is better than nothing. Okay, so say for example you're busy with the kids and you've been asked to do something and you're like, I can't fit my workout in, I'm just not going to do it. Or mindset shift, you could just say, right, I've not got 30 minutes here, so I'm going to just half my workout. I'm going to just do one set of each exercise, and then you've done something. You know, you still worked the muscle, you've still burned some calories. Something's better than nothing. So that's the kind of mentality I want everyone to have, is don't just skip it, adjust it. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And that helps reduce overwhelm, helps you reduce overwhelm, then this kind of resentment that you didn't do anything, like this failure kind of attitude. We don't want that. Okay, so there's always a way, and if you are struggling, obviously that's what I'm here for, to adapt the plan to your lifestyle. That's what it's all about. But I want you guys to learn these tools, because that will then set you up for the future. Okay, let's dive on. So we have habit stacking and accountability. Like, I'm massive on habit stacking. It allows us to get through our life and actually remember the things that's going to be beneficial for us. So attach new habits to existing ones. For example, after my morning coffee, if that's something you do every morning, you could then do your stretching after it. Again, you've probably heard me talk about stretching and mobility. You could be doing like a light stretching session if you're feeling sore or whatever, instead of just completely missing it out. Then that bit of soreness then turns into an injury, then you're just worse off. You know, so think about that. Think about something that you're struggling to fit into your day. Match it up with something that you're always going to do, and it just becomes a lot easier. I would have sent you out journals. So just make sure you're using your journals, track your own progress, so you can then refer back to it. For example, if you're feeling a bit low, if you're feeling a bit low, you can then look back and you say, right, okay, this is the first week. This is how far I've came from today to then. You know, it's all about progress, and it's just about reflecting on how far you've came instead of this perfectionism mentality. We definitely don't want that. So make sure you're doing your journaling. And when, for example, consistency slips, just reflect on what's getting in the way, you know, and adjust. Don't just abandon the habit. And again, feed that back to me there as well. Okay? And again, it's just about organisation. If you try and fit something up, if you try and fit a workout in on a specific day and it didn't happen, reflect on why that happened and plan ahead for the following week, you know, or have a strategy. You know, have a strategy about maybe shortening the workout. If there's no other day you can fit a specific workout in, there's always ways of doing it. Even if it's just, you know, if it's made simpler or if it's a shorter workout, and you can even replace it with something you want to enjoy. For example, if you like running, instead of getting your steps in, go for a run. Yeah. So moving on to blood, stabilising blood sugar. This helps stabilise mood. So making sure, again, just going back to your nutrition, make sure they're balanced meals, have a high protein intake or high protein level in your meal. You've got some healthy fats there, and fibre is key here. Fibre is key to stabilising your blood sugar. It slows the digestion process. It prevents big spikes and drops. So make sure when you're thinking about food, it's got a high protein intake, a high protein content, and you're getting fibre in there. Okay, protein and fibre. If you think about them, they will really help your mood. Then again, you probably fed up me talking about this, but your sleep and stress management, you know, poor sleep, it worsens your mood. You know, you're going to feel tired, everything's going to feel so much harder and so much worse. So work on your sleep hygiene. Again, just you can tap into the course that I provided you to. That's why they're there, guys. Courses on sleep, stress management, you've got access to all of this. And even if you're getting through a couple of videos a week, at least you're progressing through it. And some quick wins for, like, in terms of sleep hygiene, just it's the basics. Stay away from any devices. Keep the blue light down before your sleep, prior to actually going to sleep. You know, make sure you've got a comfortable mattress. Make sure you've got comfortable pillows. Make sure the room temperature's like cool enough, and it's dark. You know, things like this will really help. And for example, when stressed, this starts to progress. Instead of being a bit strict on yourself, a bit of self-criticism's going on there. Use stress as a signal to pause and reset. So for example, focus on your sleep, your hydration, some deep breathing. Make sure you're doing your breathing exercises before tackling anything that's, you know, like any bigger challenges. So again, it comes back to this puzzle that we've talked about at the start. You've got all these wee bits to the jigsaw, and it's about putting them all together, working on your sleep, working on your stress management, working on your nutrition, working on your exercise, working on your habits. And when you put all that together, that's when you start seeing long-term results. So hopefully this was helpful, guys. Just a couple of things that you can refer back to when, you know, when things just doesn't go to plan. Just trying, a big thing to take away from this, I would say, is a mindset shift. Okay, you are doing this because it's a positive thing to do. Try not to think about what you're taking out. Think about what you're doing and why you're doing it and why it's beneficial for you. Okay, implement your habit stacking. Cut back if you need to. Also send me a message, then I can adjust the plan. That's what I'm here for. That's why you're part of why you're doing this program. Also alongside my own accountability from me. And just obviously just give yourself a bit of a break, you know, just in terms of just don't be as hard on yourself, and just think about things in a positive light. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful. Any questions, guys, give me a shout, and yeah, another week done. Thanks.